To baseball and Tarik Skubal's Hollywood beginning as he prepares for his Dodgers debut tonight in the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Let's welcome in our MLB reporter, Jesse Rogers, his traveling microphone from Chicago. Okay, Jesse, Skubal's been with his new team since Sunday. What more can you give us on how they've gotten him, ramped up in order to pitch tonight?
Yeah, as you can imagine, it's a crash course. I watched him yesterday in the outfield, huddling with coaches and new teammates and just getting his bearings down. He's never pitched at Wrigley Field, so that's going to be interesting as well as he makes his Dodger and Wrigley Field debut tonight. Now, I talked to a former pitcher that went through a similar scenario, traded, and he joked about having been thrust into pitching right away. They never give you 4 or 5 days. They put you right back on the mound, and sometimes, that can be a good thing not to overthink it, and that's actually what this former pitcher told me. Don't overthink it. Simplify. Just be yourself. This is the 2-time Cy Young winner. And he also mentioned in this PitchCom era how much easier it is to sort of make this kind of a debut. Whoever's going to catch it tonight can basically just say, hey, Tarik, you run the show. You hit the buttons on the PitchCom, and I'll follow your lead. And that's probably what's going to happen. And the other thing this former pitcher told me is adrenaline will not be a problem. Wrigley Field, making your Dodger debut, trying to help a team make a three-peat, that's not going to be an issue. Perhaps he scales it down. Maybe it's not 110 pitches tonight. Maybe he goes hard for 5 innings and lets it all out and, has that great debut, and we'll see if the Cubs can get to him. So everyone's excited here, about 6 hours away from first pitch.
Yeah, I'm sure about that. Listen, we all anticipated Tarik Skubal would get traded, but of all teams, the Dodgers, the back-to-back defending World Series champs, obviously the Twitter reaction just screaming how unfair this is. But what's been the league reaction to LA's acquisition of Skubal?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a split here. I think fans, especially opposing fan bases, are upset about it. Brewers fans, Braves fans, even Cub fans, like, hey, we wanted Skubal. So they're upset at maybe the system, is leaning towards the Dodgers. They get anybody they want. But when I talk to executives, hey, this is fair game. Anybody could have traded for him. That's something Skubal said himself. They have good prospects. They have a good player development system. Now, they spend more off the field in terms of their infrastructure, just like they do with their payroll. So maybe they do have an advantage when they get rid of prospects. But executives are not bemoaning the fact that the Dodgers picked them up. They understand how it works. They could have had him. The Dodgers got him, and now they have to face him here and maybe down the stretch and into October as well.
Yeah, you're right about that. By the way, it seems like twos are a thing when it comes to Tarik Skubal. As you pointed out, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. He's been to the postseason twice, and now he joins the back-to-back World Series champions. You can check out Jesse's article on Tarik Skubal, not sympathizing with those Dodgers critics. It's on ESPN.com right now. Jesse, thank you very much.
Let's bring in our baseball analyst, Eduardo Perez. And hey, we just heard Jesse talking about it. 7 seasons, Tarik Skubal never, ever, ever pitched at Wrigley Field. So obviously this is going to be a memorable outing for him. But what are your expectations in his start?
I expect Tarik Skubal to be Tarik Skubal. And what that means is you're going to see a fastball that's going to be around 96 to 98 miles per hour. He could touch 100, but he's going to stay within himself. He has to stay within himself, because the fastball alone will not work. You'll have to throw that changeup. It gets a 50% whiff in and out of the zone. And also that curveball. Hitters are only hitting 105 against the curveball. So he has to have his secondary stuff, but he has to be in check. If you're watching the game, watch closely. He'll be taking those deep breaths. He'll raise those arms, and he'll be aggressive in the zone. This is a guy that does not walk batters. And the Chicago Cubs are a team that tries to wear you out of the zone. They don't chase much. That's where they get themselves into trouble. That's where Tarik Skubal is going to have the advantage here against the Cubs today.
Yeah, Cubs would like to try to wear him out. But speaking of wearing out, Skubal joining an already, we know, star-studded rotation that also includes Shohei Ohtani, amongst some others. But what does this addition now mean for the Dodgers? How do they make this all work?
Well, this is huge. This is huge because you only have 2 guarantees right now, and that's Yamamoto and Tarik Skubal that are pitching. The other 3, Ohtani, Snell, Glasnow, are not. Ohtani's hitting, but he has yet to pick up a ball to be able to start getting back on the mound and building himself back up. The other 2, we don't know yet. The time is running out, And during the season, the beauty of the Dodgers is this: they've got Robleski there, they have Sasaki there, they have pitchers that can pitch and be effective in the rotation. That's how deep they are. And if the others do come back and they are part of the rotation, then guess what? Those starters have experience already being in the bullpen, because that's where they were when they won it last year. They'll easily go and pitch the second half of any game in the postseason. The Dodgers are stacked. They are stacked, and they know it, and the entire league knows it well. One thing that they can do is suppress runs with their pitching.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you were talking about postseason, I think health is key. Like, we're talking about some of those pieces, not there right now, but what's it going to look like when we do hit October baseball? We'll see how it all plays out. Eduardo, appreciate you, my friend. I am Brian, back with you, and it's time for Dodgers baseball, where the team's new box office draw, Tarik Skubal, will make his first start since being traded to L.A. The two-time reigning AL Cy Young Award winner moves from a struggling Tigers team to a team that leads the league in wins. The Dodgers landing the prize of the trade deadline as they look to win their third straight World Series title. And MLB insider Jeff Passan joining us now. And Jeff, what are you just hearing around the league ahead of Skubal's Dodger debut?
I'm just glad I can put
you put the phone away,
right
finally,
now. For the
right?
first time, it's been my binky the last few days. The reality, Kiana, is everyone knows that Tarik Skubal is the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. And the team that's won 2 consecutive World Series now adds him to a rotation that already includes the reigning World Series MVP in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That's going to be getting 2-time Cy Young winner Blake Snell back. And the rich, and the very rich, continue to get richer. And the question at this point is not, are the Dodgers going to make the playoffs? They are. It's not, are the Dodgers going to get a bye? They are. It's who can beat the Dodgers in October. Everything, the rest of the regular season, is just pretext for answering that question come October.
Yeah, I feel like many teams, that's now their motivating factor right here. How do you beat LA? But I do want to recap some of the biggest moods, because I'm glad you got to put your phone away. It's been a hectic trade deadline. The Phillies, they added 3-time batting champ Luis Arraez from San Francisco. He's on pace for another batting title, currently leading the National League with a .324 average. Now, the Nationals shipped off infielder Luis Garcia Jr. to the Bronx. It didn't take long for Garcia to make an impact in pinstripes, homering in just his first game since joining the Yankees. Now, in one of the most surprising moves of the deadline, the Red Sox, they sent a haul of prospects to Baltimore for former #1 pick Adley Rutschman. Red Sox have really turned their season around since the firing of Alex Cora, and even more since July 1st. So I want to ask, did the Red Sox do enough to be real contenders?
I think the Red Sox, Kiana, already were real contenders. They haven't lost, seemingly, for the last month. They've gone from the worst record in the American League to on the heels of the Yankees right now for the top wild card spot. And yes, they had a clear weakness at catcher. And in getting Adley Rutschman, he fills everything that they need. He is a switch hitter. He is an excellent receiver. He can throw guys out. He's a leader. He's the kind of guy that Baltimore thought it was building its franchise around. And so, yes, they traded Anthony Ianson, who's their top pitching prospect. They traded Kyson Witherspoon, who's their second-best pitching prospect. Endy Azokar, who's their second-best position-playing prospect. They gave up a lot to go get Adley Rutschman. So I think the answer to that question, did they do enough, depends on Adley Rutschman coming back healthy and producing. If so, they did everything that they need. And with the pitching staff that they have, and if Curtis Mead comes back healthy, then they've got a chance to have a pretty dynamic lineup, too.
Okay, well, speaking of, now that the trade deadline has come and it's gone, give me your trade deadline winner.
I'm going with the Chicago Cubs, Kiana. And here's why. They have needed pitching all year long. And to go out and get Kevin Gausman, to get Clay Holmes, to get 2 guys who have a lot of ground balls, when you have Alex Bregman, Dansby Swanson, and Nico Horner, along with Michael Busch, the best infield defense in baseball. To add relievers as well, getting Ryan Zefferjon, a strikeout guy that they don't have in their bullpen currently. I think the Cubs have a really high floor. Like, this is a solid team that you know is going to be a playoff team. I think they made their ceiling a lot higher yesterday in getting some starting pitchers who you could conceivably see starting games 1 and 2 of a postseason series.
Okay, so addressing some of their needs, the Cubs being one of your winners. So what about a team that maybe left more questions than answers?
There were a few teams out there that I thought needed starting pitching that did not get it. Now, the Philadelphia Phillies, they have 3 great starters in Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, and Jesus Luzardo. They were looking for more of a back-end guy, didn't get him. But a team like the Houston Astros that lead the American League West right now had all kinds of opportunity to go out there and get a starting pitcher to stabilize a rotation that's been among the worst in baseball. They did not go do that. The Atlanta Braves, I do wonder, even though they got Tyler Mahle, who's going to start game 2 of a postseason series for them? Maybe it's Martin Perez, maybe it's Bryce Elder, maybe it's Mahle himself, but they don't have that top flight rotation like so many of the other teams in the National League do. And you wonder, come playoff time, how's that going to affect the Braves? And is their excellent bullpen going to be enough to buttress that?
Absolutely, and especially when they are competing with that team we talked about earlier at the top of this segment.
They're
Jeff,
pretty good.
get a nap in, get some rest, head to the spa. We appreciate you.
Turn my phone off.
That too. Thank you.